there's a lot about this NP role that nobody talks about. And that's exactly why I built this platform. Your NP pal here. Welcome to another conversation from the track. Alright, so today is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more personal, just talking about why I built this platform. So, around year 6, I was doing some travel nursing, and I ended up coming back home. And this job that was supposed to be set up was a really nice situation just did not pan out like I thought. It was actually a very bad opportunity. So I ended up leaving, and I got another job that I think turned out to be worse than that one. And I was just really struggling financially, and it was not something I was happy doing. And while that was going on, of course, life is still happening. I had some kids, bills and things like that. Things were really tough for us. And so that's when I just really started to open up my mind and just maybe, Houston is it for us. Like maybe we've kind of maxed out, because when I was looking at jobs, it was like the pay was actually going down from when I first started 6 years earlier. So I ended up just started looking outside, different states and things like that. We're thinking about where we could move to, and I ended up getting a job in New York, like upstate New York, and it was much higher than what it was, back home. And I was like, okay, my wife was on board and packed up our family, sold our house, moved up there. And after about 3 months, it just was not it. And I was just really questioning life and just like, praying, God, like, what's up? Like the past 3-4 years have been really rough, just trying to figure out, what I'm supposed to be doing out here. Sometimes, when you're chasing your purpose, you have to get out of your comfort zone and be stripped from everything in order for you to kind of really find yourself and things like that. And I just remember one night after work, after a long shift, see, upstate New York, it's like there's no sunshine for like 5 or 6 months. And I just remember looking out the window, this gray sky that was just there all day long for months. And I was just staring out, just like, what is happening? And I was just like, you know what? I have to tell people about this. Like, I want to tell other nurse practitioners who have not gotten here yet, but just this role is not what you think. It is not just, a straight path. It's not linear at all, especially if you're trying to get to a certain place or something that, you may have an idea in your head of what you think things are going to be like, but when you actually get there, it's something totally different. And the thing about job hopping is that, in this role, it takes like 3 months to get started. You know what I'm saying? So you may sign up for a role, go through credentialing and all of that stuff, get in there, and within the first 30 days, you already know if it's a long-term place or not. And that's the hard part, because it takes you so long to get started. So a lot of people just kind of stay stuck. But just everything about that place. We were city people. So not only was it rural, it wasn't even a small town. Like a small town, I think the population has to be about 10,000 people. This was considered a village. It was 5,000 or less. Like, it was crazy, but it just did not fit with us. So I'm like, I have to get out of here. So then I started, doing some things to try to get out. And then, we ended up getting back, but while I was there in that dark moment, I was like, that's where the idea for UNP Power came from. And I was just like, I'm going to write a book about this, and I'm going to do like a tell-all type situation. So I just wrote the idea down, and then I just kind of left it. So, and then once I got to Austin, and I kind of put it on the back burner and things like that. But, purpose always has like this calling where it's always like coming back to you, right? And so, I just wanted to talk about how difficult it was, and how school does not prepare you for any of this, right? Like, you go through school, they're prepping you to pass boards, but that's pretty much it. They don't talk to you about real world stuff, how tough it is in your job, the disrespect that you're going to endure, doctors talking down to you, just pushback and patience. Not only that, but how low the pay is. Like, oh my God, and I think the main thing for me was that when I was in school, the MPs, because I was working in the ER, those MPs are making like 100, 120 an hour, and like that's the number that I thought I was going to come out making. And then in my first couple offers, 50. Like, it was half of what I thought. But, after a while, especially as time progressed, after taking boards and looking for a job, you just get so desperate. You're going to take the first thing that comes your way. And so I wanted to kind of just talk about the realities of it in the book. But then as I continued to evolve and everything, I was like, a book is not going to be enough. Like, I need way more stuff. And so the platform and brand has really started to evolve, but it's all in good faith for helping nurse practitioners. Just having that support system, being a mentor and things like that. So I call it UMP Pal because I want to be the friend that I wish I had earlier in my career. So, and not only that, the book itself, I didn't want it to just be, let me a behind the scenes tell-all type of thing. Like, no, because there's already enough people out here and platforms and narratives that are already bashing us. Like, in peace, we have a very kind of negative image, from other people. Doctors, there's some good ones out there, but we get a lot of disrespect. They don't see us on their level, which we're not. But I've just my personal encounters. I haven't always been seen as a peer or a colleague. Just kind of like a little assistant. The Robin to the Batman or whatever. And so, and then doctors have all these support systems. And then so do nurses, but there's not a lot of like NP platforms, to help us and things like that. So even in the book, I talk about some of the problems, but then there's also a solution for each one, like how you can overcome this stuff, not just downing the professional role, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to build up, not tear down. And so that's something that's in the works currently. But with this content that I make every week, I'm trying to help, because another thing is that we get out here and we don't have like a transition period after you graduate. It's like you graduate, and how doctors, they get a residency, or nurses get a preceptorship. We don't get that. We get maybe 3 or 4 shifts, and then we're just thrown out here. And then you just have to figure it out. And providers, employers, expect you to be ready on day one. That's not even what it is. Like, you're not ready, you have to learn. And so one of my first videos I made is, your first job is your residency. Because you're literally learning how to do this. And so part of what I want to do is, all of the years, the hardship, the things I had to figure out, it took me years to figure out, I want to try to simplify that. So I put out 2 videos per week. I put out like a personal kind of career, navigation, things like that. And then also on Sundays, I do like a different topic where I'm teaching just mainly how to operate either urgent care, ER, things like that. So it's all to help. It's all in the name of lifting up nurse practitioners and things like that, because as far as my purpose, I feel like all of the difficulties and challenges that I have faced, all the different settings that I've worked in, while I didn't understand while I was going through it, I feel like now it was to build up a story, to have data, to have information, to come back and tell you all and to help. And that's the whole thing. I want to be the friend that has gone before you, that's jumped out here in the world, has seen it, see how things operate, noticed a lot of patterns, develop these frameworks, and now I want to share this with you. So my plan is to continue to put out content every week. In a few months, the book will be releasing, and so I'm hoping that people have found, will find it helpful. I have some early beta readers, some great feedback already, so I'm very excited about the things that are to come. But just know that I'm here for you. I'm here to support. I'm on just about every platform. I'm on Facebook, I'm on IG, I have my YouTube channel here, I'm on LinkedIn, and so I'm here. Carl Lamont, your pal, and so I'm hoping that if you find this information valuable or feel like you got some help from this, that you hit the like button and subscribe. And so I want to continue to build us up, because I just feel like there's nobody out here that's really for us, that's helping us like this, okay? So All right, young people out here, call them mine. As always, practice boldly, and I will see you on the next one.